It's a blissful Friday morning, the last working day of the week, and welcome to the AM News here on the AM Show. My name is Kwesi, Schandorf. It's a very fair story. Now, over 23,000 people have tested positive for HIV in the first quarter of 2022, despite the figure being slightly lower than that of the same period last year. The Ghana AIDS Commission is, however, worried and intends to intensify education in 2021. The Ashanti region topped HIV infection cases recorded in the country. Over 73,000 persons in the region were reported to be living with the disease. With the recent revelation by the National STIs and HIV/AIDS Control Program, some residents in the region are concerned about the increase in numbers and are therefore calling for intensified education.
It's a spiritual disease. Prayers can prevent you from being infected by HIV/AIDS. Economic hardship in the country is contributing to the higher cases of HIV. Most jobless girls are fallen victims. You can't get it if your partner wears waist beads. AIDS is no longer deadly. There's a treatment for it now, but if the young girls had something doing, they won't be forced to go and have sex indiscriminately.
Like Newma say education also more.
Very worried about it because when you see it, it has a great effect on the youth, especially the young man who has gone into it. So when you have gone into it, when you try doing it, it's not only about how it will affect you as a youth, but how it will affect the country as a youth.
Me worried because Ghana HIV are there. I'm trying to say it's Europa. Say about family more.
Most Ghanaians are scared of HIV. Infected persons are stigmatized mostly. Young people like myself should desist from having multiple partners.
Girls
Girls of today do not like working. They prefer sleeping around with men for money. The government should intervene to help reduce the numbers.
Although some people doubt the rates of HIV infection, deeming it as a spiritual one, others are calling for an intensified education on the infection. From Kumasi for JoyNews, my name is Emmanuel Bryan.
Now, meanwhile, the Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission, Tremi Tuahini, says the adult population must endeavor to know their status and also make efforts to have protected sex. The director, however, expressed worry over transactional sex, which is fast becoming a growing trend in the country.
And it's creating a lot of psychological problems even for young ladies. And so it is something that we keep talking about, and I'm happy you have brought it up. Transactional sex is an important factor here, and the number of people who are involved is quite large. So it is that a number of people are into sex work, both male and female. And that is also a major risk factor. And unfortunately, some of the men who use the services of sex workers refuse to use condoms when even the sex workers themselves have offered the condoms for use. And sometimes they even become violent because they insist they are paying for it, and therefore they determine the terms of the arrangement. And so when one is giving a condom, it's only for the person's own interest to protect that person. And so we know that from what we have read in the graphic yesterday, we know that sex workers, and they are one of the group of people who are high risk and can spread the virus. And so we dedicate a lot of resources and efforts to work with them and ensure that they use condoms at all times.
Still on HIV, a public health expert, Dr. John Kwesi, says that the public must be made to understand that in spite of the availability of retroviral medicines, AIDS cannot be cured.
Well, I mean, the current scientific consensus in the general sense is that HIV/AIDS is not curable. Now, when we say curable, what we mean is that the virus will not disappear entirely from your system. But the argument would be, who really cares if you can live a normal life, and also if you can be in a state where you cannot transmit the virus. And this is why I made mention of the fact that viral suppression is really a powerful thing we need to achieve. Because here, the virus has not completely disappeared, but it's so compressed or suppressed that it does not really affect your way of life, and it does not also, it wouldn't also be transmitted to others. And so I think the argument about whether it's curable or not is not as poignant an issue as it used to be before. Nonetheless, research is going on. There's always one news item here and there or there talking about how they've achieved some successful elimination of the virus from somebody's system, but there's no publicly available FDA-approved cure for HIV at the moment. The good thing is that access to testing, access to treatments in Ghana remains free, and making people aware of this so they're not afraid to test and also not afraid to go to health facilities for treatment and know where to go is so critical. And I know the Ghana Health AIDS Commission has really been doing this over several decades, and I'm sure Dr. Tuagine can throw more light on exactly how this has been.
Let's now turn our attention away from HIV and go to the Northeast region, where the regional minister, Yidana Zakaria, says that the renewed clashes between Jejunt and Timbon communities has come as a surprise. Yesterday, military men were airlifted to the region to restore calm after renewed clashes over a 5-year disputed land resulted in the killing of one person. But speaking on JoyNews, regional minister Yidana Zakaria said several efforts had been made towards finding a permanent solution to the existing dispute.
We are all taken by surprise, but this is the third time the same communities have engaged in these clashes. The first happened, somebody unfortunately lost his life. We intervened. We even involved His Royal Majesty, the Chief of Saboba, to help us find answers to the problem. Then there was a reprisal attack. After the reprisal attack, we still made efforts, appealed to them to give peace a chance. When we thought it was almost over, yesterday in the evening, 2 other communities came together and attacked Junjun community, and unfortunately, 1 person lost his life, and a number of houses burnt. We think that we must do something different to restore permanent peace in the area. At the district level, the District Security Committee, several meetings were held to try to find answers. Then, at the district level, we got involved to the point that I traveled from Nalergu to meet His Royal Majesty at Saboba. Then, he, the Chief of Saboba, sent a delegation to go and engage the communities involved in some discussions. Aside that, the Konkomba Youth Association has been very, very active in these matters, trying to restore peace. And I commend them for their efforts. So they have supported even with food and roofing material to restore houses that were burnt in the first attack. So when we were all trying to find answers, then this reprisal came up. So effectively, both the DISEC and the RECSEC in the Northeast region are working hard to restore peace. And we have been surprised by this.
Now, the Kumasi Traditional Council has requested that Oyiripa FM, a radio station operating in the region, stops broadcasting from Friday, August 26, until further notice. Their crime was giving their platform to the 2020 flag bearer of the United Front Party to denigrate the Asante-Hene. The traditional chiefs in the Shanti region came under fire from Kwesi Adai, also known as Odike, a guest on the political talk show on Oyiripa FM for failing to combat illegal mining. He accused the chiefs of aiding in Galamsey since they have looked on unconcerned while forests and water bodies are destroyed. The businessman come politician threatened to lead the youth to stage a massive demonstration against Mensia if the Galamsey menace continues. The Kumasi Traditional Council was offended by this remark and declared it to be a form of rebellion against Asanteman. Hence, Odike was banished from stepping foot at Mensia. Bafo Amankwetia, the Sith, addressed the delegation from Oyiripa FM and TV.
As someone see Odike card your pen, I am on a platform money. Na Odike kasade nkonti menye efisa asam na mfam ho mo fisa asam ketua bi na ka wo bei enka dibimemu odro ya nananu mehu a yeni beso ya ye beso ni.
You gave Odike the platform to say all that he said without caution. If you want us to accept your apology and show remorse, then announce to your listeners that you erred and apologize. Again, if you want Mensia to give you your hearing, then you have to close down your radio station from Friday, August 26th until the pending issue is resolved. If not, we won't take it lightly when you appear before us again.
Radio station no muntimimwe na no no hu se monya no hu na sai no dia amadia menya sure se mo ba ha na nanom no mbetini mremremre.
Well, meanwhile, Oyiripa FM has offered an unqualified apology to Asante-Hene to try and calm nerves. The statement indicates as follows, and so I'm going to take you through the statement. On Wednesday, 18th August 2022, Nanayao Messenger, host of Oyiripa Breakfast Show on Oyiripa 100.7 FM, Edum Kumasi, invited 3 persons, namely Professor Boaji Da Costa from KNUST, Dr. Emmanuel Amankwa from KNUST, and Kwesi Adai, Odike, founder and leader of the United Progressive Party, for a panel discussion. Among the issues discussed on the day was the rate at which Galamsey operations in the region has destroyed and still destroying our lands. The host of the show asked members on his panel to suggest measures that could help curtail the menace. In the course of the discussions, Kwesi Adai Odike called on Mensia to intervene and went ahead to issue some unpalatable comments in his submission. The host of the show asked him to desist from attacking the royal house. The statement continues. Several attempts to stop Odike proved futile, and the host had to change the topic on Galamsey since he, Odike, was not hidden to his call. The Chief Executive Officer Management and host of the show unreservedly apologized to the noble house for the inconveniences that the show might have caused. We would like to indicate that we have no intention of disregarding the royal house. We would also like to assure Mensia that this would not happen again. And that statement was signed by Otrema Nkwa. Now, away from that, government Parliament's Government Assurance Committee say they have been disrespected after waiting for the local government minister Dan Botwe for close to 2 hours, yet he failed to show up. The minister was expected to provide answers to the committee on specific promises he made relating to his ministry on the floor of Parliament. This comes on the back of Fisheries Minister Howard Kumson's failure to appear before them on the first day of the public hearing. Members of the committee say ministers must treat them with respect. Parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Asante has more in the following report.
I regret to announce that the minister is on tour with the president and could not come before us. And per our principle, I think they heard us loud and clear, that per our principle, the initial arrangement to have the deputy minister stand in for the minister was turned down by the committee.
This development, however, angered a ranking member on the committee, John Otibles, who said the committee deserves respect and this situation should never recur.
So for some ministers to keep using their tour with the president as an excuse is unacceptable. So we want to draw the attention of other ministers who are yet to be invited before this committee that they should take note. And as indicated by the chairperson, we are not going to accept deputy ministers before us because the promises and assurances were made by the ministers themselves. So they should take note. We are not going to accept any deputy minister before this committee. So the ministers must be prepared to avail themselves before the committee. So henceforth, we aren't going to accept any excuse as a committee. This committee, we mean business. We are not here to witch hunt. We are here to serve the public. We are here to serve the interests of Ghanaians. We are the representatives of the people. So we deserve some level of respect. Appearance before this committee is an obligation.
For this session of the Government Assurances Committee of Parliament, they were billed to meet 3 ministers, the ministers for fisheries, for education, and also the minister for local government and rural development. They were only able to meet one of these ministers that they outlined to meet. That is the Minister for Education, Dr. Yawase Idichum. The other 2 ministers did not show up, and the committee are not very happy about the situation. They are calling on the ministers not to disrespect the committee. They say their work should be taken seriously and that they are waiting for these ministers to now appear before them at a later date, and that at that particular time, they will not tolerate any further excuses from the ministers. The committee will reconvene next week and hear from the 2 ministers who failed to appear this week, as well as others who are scheduled to have their time. For JoyNews, Kwesi Asante, Accra.
Residents of some communities in the Atrima in Wabeja South constituency of the Ashanti region have chased their Member of Parliament, Emmanuel Eje Andre, with a machete over poor roads in the area. The 3 chased out the MP who was on a tour of some communities within the constituency. Nanaya Ojima has more in the following report.
3 communities, Kobin, Saidi and Amanchia, met the MP who was on a tour with fierce resistance. Some of the residents wielding machetes threatened the Member of Parliament. At Amanchia, the chief of the community refused to attend a meeting where the MP was expected to listen to the concerns of the community. Nana Efifa Buansan II explains.
And then you were Yabua, I'm a party no mamba.
You have seen the road. Did you like it? You want us to continue voting for you? We helped you win elections. All we are demanding is our fair share of development. We are not in good terms with the NPP and we must tell them. You want us to pour libation on your behalf. We will do that, but you have to do better. Your performance in the Ashanti region is not encouraging. Whoever says otherwise is lying. We will vote against you if election is conducted today. Go and tell the president we like him, but this is the truth.
About 3 years ago, the road between Uyoso and Antwerp was milled for reconstruction. This was because the road was riddled with potholes, which affected movement in the area. Construction of drainage systems commenced immediately, but the contractor later abandoned the construction. Residents say the contractor has not been on site since the beginning of the year. They have filed a complaint to the office of the MP, but they are yet to receive any positive response. The Member of Parliament, Emmanuel J. Anshre, wants the residents to exercise restraint.
Yes, you are
This is the first time something like this has happened. The enthusiasm with which you voted the NPP is the reason behind this action. I can't condemn the act. I have accepted that we haven't completed the road, but I assure you the road will be fixed before 2024 ends.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.
If you live in a waterlogged area or in a coastal community, you have probably seen a wet patch that has marred the beauty of your wall paint. There is a locally made permanent fix for the dampness on your wall at the ongoing EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair at the Accra International Conference Center. Maxwell Agbagba has more from the AICC. He starts this report with the Krojin Water Max filter at the fair, which among others removes 99.9% of dirt and reduces odor.
I am particularly amazed by some of the things that I have seen on display here. One of them is from a local company called Pneumafis Limited. Now, for a lot of buildings, a lot of homes in waterlogged areas, you experience dampness on your walls, a part of the building, getting wet, marring the beauty of the painting. Now, there's a permanent solution to that with Pneumafis. I've been speaking to the CEO for Pneumafis, Reverend Samuel Asari Odoi.
What causes the dampness on the wall is that in a waterlog, right, the water in the ground climbs up your structure. Then it renders it this way, right? When the water is coming up, it comes with salt. And then it weakens the block work, the cement work in your structure. Now, if you have this problem, if you contact the chamber through Pneumafis, we'll be able to help you. The best thing for any builder who is building is to start the building, the concrete, the foundation with the anti-salt, right? If you start your foundation and you mix your concrete with the anti-salt has two components. It has what we call salt neutralizer, and then it also stops the waterproof, right? So this component, if you use it to lay your foundation, your screeding, your plastering, water cannot penetrate and climb to destroy your wall.
I've also been speaking to one of the exhibitors here, Masiana Abavana, and she has been telling me what to consider when you're making selection for furniture for your new home. She's also been talking about how to keep the upholstery clean and free from smell.
Masiana Abavana. I'm the creative director and founder of Kalira.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Tell us, what do you do?
So Kalira is a company, a Ghanaian company that produces beautiful, very good quality and affordable furniture right here in Ghana.
Okay.
Other services we have include reupholstery services. So if you have old furniture that you want us to give to like do up and make nice again, make it look new again, we have that service.
So you basically pimp furniture, like pimp my ride.
I can pimp your furniture, you know, give a new fabric, put buttons in it, take some buttons out, change the color of the wood. I can pimp your furniture for you. We also do interior decor and design. We also provide concept design for if you have a space and you just want us to do a 3D, give you an idea and you want to make somebody else execute it, we can do that for you.
That's all for the news. It's been a pleasure having you. My name is Kwesi Schandorf, and do have a blessed weekend. The show continues with Benjamin and Benes.